You are watching Travel World Online.
Welcome to Travel World Online. My name is Shweta Arya Verma. Today we have with us Susan Lichtens and Greeley Koch. They joined hands to start Digi Travel Consulting to facilitate corporate travel. Welcome to Travel World Online, Susan and Greeley. Susan, when did you start Digi Travel and what was the idea behind?
Digi Travel's we just celebrated our 2-year anniversary. Woohoo! And we celebrated it with the announcement of Jyoti. Woohoo!
Thank you.
We finally grew well enough and strong enough to bring in somebody after I did a project and realized that there's so much opportunity. So I just left a very formal, structured program, was very proud of it, was doing everything by the book. And then when you step outside of that, you see all the things you weren't taking advantage of. And I asked myself, why wasn't I taking advantage of that? And realized there were so many processes in between me and the next great innovative thing out there, flatten those processes. And I did a little of that in my past job of removing RFPs from the hotel program, right? So I said, there's such opportunity for the corporate market, but there's nobody helping the corporations and suppliers talk directly to each other. And how can they do that and create a better next gen travel program? So Digi Travel was inspired to be the person that brings those two teams together directly through multiple channels, omni channels, decentralize the program a little bit, and create a program that allows the right company to talk to the right corporation without all those layers in the middle. And we do that through digitization, Scrum management, DTRA, or Digi Travel Readiness Assessment, outlining the opportunities. We do it on the supplier side. We have great success with suppliers trying to enter the corporate market by looking at their business models. Because, when you're building technology, you don't necessarily build what the corporation may need. And so being the corporate whisperers, we're able to look at that technology and go, why did you build this? What is it going to solve for? And does the corporation actually need it? And we try to help them work on their design and their development, if it makes sense to us, to bring it to the corporate market the way they need it, not the way they think they need it. And that's been missing in our market. That's been missing in corporate travel. So taking those lessons from other successful business ventures and becoming that path between the two is why Digi Travel got started. So we're not a standing company. Take your program to the next generation. Hold in the next generation and realize that the real main focal point needs to be how to build that bridge, which is the missing piece, right? There's a lot of great technology and services and API and blockchain and all that great conversation happening. And then the corporate side saying, whoa, I don't understand this. And this sounds like a lot. And realizing that because of all the layers that were put into place from the big box and the big companies, there's no bridge, there's no path from one to the other. And that path is very important, that middle piece. And so we pride ourselves on speaking corporate. We're known as the corporate whisperers. I spent 10 years at Cisco Systems, running their global travel and meetings department. And my good friend Bindu is still in India running half of that around the world, and very exciting work there and on the supplier side. And we hope to continue to be the corporate whisperers between the buyers and the suppliers.
Greeley, what is your plan for India?
I was with the Association of Corporate Travel Executives, and I would get to India quite often. And we're very excited to have Jyoti as our Vice President of India for Digi Travel Consulting for several reasons. One is that, as we talked about just a little bit earlier, that she does have the passion for this industry. And she's also very good at connecting folks. And that's what really Digi Travel is all about. As we are the bridge with connecting buyers and suppliers, Jyoti is really the bridge to help the corporations out there connect with the suppliers to improve the traveler experience. And I always know that from my travels to India, that everybody there is always forward looking. They're always looking to embrace the next technology, the next method. And that's why I've always been excited about the Indian marketplace and excited that Jyoti is on our team, because there are so many new things happening, as Susan described, with giving travelers choice of their booking channels, choice to make sure that duty of care tracking is always there, choice to make sure that you're getting the correct rates. And so what we want to do is bring these new methodologies, these new ways of doing business to those corporations. An easy way that we do this, we have what we call our Digi Travel Readiness Assessment. And it's a very quick way that we go in, look at a travel program, and then do an analysis and a report that says, here's where your program is today, and here's where it can go tomorrow.
Now, this question is for both of you. How do you see the future of MICE in India?
I was actually having this conversation last week. Somebody was telling me that, well, people won't want to go in person anymore. And I said, well, I kind of disagree with that. I said, I think that the online experience has served a void, right? In the fact that we haven't been able to get together. The online experience, whether it's Zoom meetings, team meetings, the other types of platforms that are out there that have a really robust experience where you can chat and you can look at different people, they've really served a void here. Now, as we look forward to the future, I believe that there'll be a hybrid situation, that people will still want to get together. They want to connect, right? Because most of the brainstorming and the ideas that are created aren't necessarily coming from an hour of Zoom. They're coming from when you're at that meeting and you're at the coffee break, you're at the lunch break, you're at the cocktail break, you're at the dinner. That's when a lot of the ideas are generated. And I think that's what people are missing right now. And so I think companies are looking, and I've talked to several companies that are saying we need to get our teams together because we've missed strategy sessions just with our internal teams. We've missed executives getting together to hash out the goals for the next year. Teams haven't been able to get together to say, how are we going to tackle this problem or our sales strategy? And then people want to get out there with their customers. So I think what we'll see companies evolving to is some sort of hybrid where they'll get together and that will still look to these online platforms. And I think that's where, we've actually helped some of our clients with making sure that when they do an online presentation, it's really worthwhile because quite frankly, people are getting zoomed out. Right. They're like, do I have to do another Zoom? Do I have to, I'm just getting tired of this. Right. And so we're starting to see attendance start to come down. We're starting to see interaction start to come down. So people are ready to get together. And hopefully, with vaccines and what's happening, that will be able to happen in different parts of the world where people will be able to get together again.
Yeah.
Very true.
And and with MICE, with meeting and events and incentives, the main goal for any company is to drive leads most of the time, right? So you have your internal teams, you have your external teams, and driving revenue is critical, right? So do I believe that meeting incentives are going to come back, to Greeley's point? Exactly. Do I think the revenue ones will come back first? Yes. I think that companies will invite their customers to come feel in touch again. That's so important. They haven't seen them. Education sessions will come back again. Internal team meetings will be fewer than they were because this has become a way of life now. And that's all good, by the way. It's all good. There was a lot of travel going on that was, used more like a taxi service sometimes. Like I have to see somebody at the company for a day, I'll fly across the world. You don't need to do that anymore. We've learned that during COVID. But the reason to have a meeting, the reason to meet your customers, the reason to show off your product where is still very, very important part of doing business. So I'm looking forward to that myself.
Post-COVID consumer behavior will change for sure. Do you think post-COVID corporate will be more demanding? And what do you anticipate corporate travel will be expecting?
I'll jump in here first. Yes, the corporation will be more demanding, and they should be more demanding, right? I think what COVID has showed us that there's been bad business models in our industry. It showed us that, and you think about what's been happening lately. Lately, when we talk to our clients, their travel management companies are coming to them saying, well, we need to increase our fees because we haven't made any revenue because we had a transaction-based model. So you need to support us. You need to pay us. And it just boggles my mind, right? That a business has a model that says, well, we're going to, not be here unless you just write us blank checks. And so I think what we've also seen is that there's also been so many layers added on to try to fix things. So you've got the travel management company, you've got companies that have come in and say, well, we'll rebook your hotels because your TMC didn't do a good job. And so now we've got another fee and another process. All these layers have been added on. And then when you talk to the suppliers, they're tired of paying all these distribution fees. They've got to pay distribution fees to TMCs. They've got to pay them to these other third parties that have come in to say, we're going to make the process better. When in actuality, it's just slowing things down. The travelers are frustrated. The costs have gone up and everybody's just tired of that. I even heard one TMC, I was talking to one TMC, they want to start charging for chats with their customers. And I'm like, how do you do that? Right? I mean, there's just craziness that's going on out there right now. And I think with some of the new methods and the new technology, it sounds like we're saying, well, let's add some more technology to this. We're saying, let's eliminate a lot of these layers. Let's reduce the costs, and you can implement new technology that actually helps do this so that everybody can end up with a better traveler experience, lower costs for both the corporation and the suppliers. And so, yes, corporations will be more demanding as they should be, and we want to be there with them making those demands.
Yeah, our theory is better together, right? So if the suppliers aren't doing well, then the corporations don't get the best programs. If the corporations aren't getting what they need, then the suppliers aren't doing well. So we have to work together. I think TAMS was built on that as well. To Greeley's point, the COVID has shown that the transparency of those layers and the insanity of what the charges were and what they were for and what the value they brought. We believe there's a place for everybody. There's a place for TMCs that add value in executive travel, complex travel, data management, things like that will really add value back to the companies. We're dealing with millennials and Generation Zs as the majority of the companies now, right? I mean, look at the Indian population. They were born on applications. They were born with their mobiles on their hand. And if they have to tap more than 3 times, they're out. So if 72% of tickets are round trips that they absolutely know where they want to go and when they want to get there, and they go to Google search first anyway, why not let them go directly to the supplier? The basis for the corporation is I need to know where they are. I want to be able to control what they're doing. And I want to make sure they take advantage of my contracts. If we can give them all of that through direct booking, imagine the possibilities of what's next. Imagine the marketplaces you can build without those layers. So corporations are demanding, flatten the layers, give me value, and give me something I can't do by myself and get the same data there. Why am I paying all this money for something I don't need to do? So show me something valuable. And we think we can do that. So
Anand, just to add my bit of it to your question directly.
Yeah, please.
Yes, are corporates going to be more demanding? Yes, they're going to be more demanding, not on the pricing. They're not going to say, reduce my cost. What they're going to ask is, what is it that you're going to give me where I can rely on it? I can make sure that my travelers are safe. I can make sure the duty of care is taken care. Yeah. How soon these solutions are coming, because nobody will have time to wait. So yes, they're going to get more demanding. So out there, the suppliers need to kind of scale themselves to be able to handle. Once you do that, then the corporates will never think twice about trying the pricing if they have the right fit for what they want.
Thanks, Susan, Greeley, and Jyoti, for your time. All the best. Keep doing good work and keep watching Travel World Online. Thank you.